Greetings YouTube and welcome to a Yu-Gi-Oh video on the blue corner, which is in itself rare, but this is also going to be a deck profile, which is super rare, and it's going to be a advanced format deck profile, which is ultra rare. Ha! See what I did there? Oh god, I'm going to go kill myself. Anywho, yeah, this is just going to be a hopefully quick deck profile on what I'm currently playing in advanced format, as I've just been bouncing between multiple decks. I find the current format to be boring, so I've been switching decks every other week that it goes. Like last week I played Sybil Shadows, but it was Phoenix for X's build, so I'm not going to show you guys that. The week before that I played Necros, and then I also have Tellarknight build, but you've seen one Tellarknight build, you've seen them all. People hate Necros, so that just leaves me with this current deck, which will be Ritual Beasts, the arguably sixth best deck in the format. When it comes to like the tier breakdown, I consider Burning Abyss, Necros, Qliphort to be the big three, then Shadows, Tellarknights, and then finally this. This being the most dark horse of them all, but also having potentially fantastic matchups against some of the best decks. Your Qliphort matchup is horrendous though, let's just get that one out of the way. Shadow matchup, I'm still on, and I don't even know about the Burning Abyss matchup. In theory, I have a great Necros matchup to an extent, as your big guys, your fusion monsters don't care about Unicorn that much, as Kanahawk can dodge it, and that's the only thing you care about. And you play Dimensional Fission macro, and you don't really have as much of a hand, so Trishula can't get you. It's just Valk can be a problem. But anywho, I'm gonna get into the deck profile itself. Forgive me if I like make any flubs here. I'm still relatively new to the deck. Like I've only played it for those couple of videos on DevPro, and then just this at a local so far. But I'd like to say that once you understand like the main combo, Elder Kanahawk, it's pretty smooth sailing. You just have to like pick up on the little nuances, which I'm obviously still in the process of learning, but I still like this build enough to do a profile, at least talk some theory behind it. So let's begin. We'll start with the Tamers. I'm running 3 Elder, 2 Wen, 1 Lara, and 1 Zephyr Pelica. The standard ratio I've noticed on a lot of builds for Tamers is 7, and before Cross Souls release, you were running 2 Lara and 2 Wen. Now though, because we have Zephyr Pelica, you can run 1-1 because these are the 2 worst Tamers, as they require a monster in Graveyard on normal summon to do things. And well, that makes them awful turn 1. Wen is also bad turn 1, but she's also very good for a good portion of the game as she summons from Banish. And Elder is your best turn 1 guy as he normal summons a Ritual Beast, which will hopefully be Kanahawk if you're good at this game. And that allows you to just get your combos going. So that's why I've prioritized my ratios. And yeah, I'm just running this guy in here as it's another name that you can summon, because all Ritual Beast monsters have the restriction of being, you can only special summon them once per turn each. So I'll move these over there. And then for the beasts themselves, 3 Kanahawk, 3 Rempengu, 2 Apelio, and 1 Petalfin. So I've also prioritized these guys by how relevant their effects are during the stages of the game. This thing is bad going first, or on first turn, and you won't be able to use it, so it's just a dead card in hand, so I don't want to see it at all. Apelio is good after the first couple turns, as you'll always have things to bash for his effect to pump things up by 500, which with his stat line of 1800 means you can actually beat Overwinda, who is normally a problem for this deck. Rempengu allows you to banish a extra deck Ritual Beast monster in order to dump from your deck a monster with a matching type. So a Thunder with Ulti Kanahawk, a Pyro with Ulti Apelio, a Psychic with Gaia Apelio, and an Aqua with Petalfin. Also, if you happen to have your Pendulum monster in the extra deck because it got blown up, you can banish this to send a Psychic from the deck to graveyard. That's kind of relevant. So he helps you also set up combo plays. And then we have Kanahawk itself, where once per turn you can banish a Ritual Beast card from your deck to add it to your hand 2 turns later, which helps set up your banish pile for your extra deck monsters. And if need be, you can just slow grind into that. Like if you open with just this and okay protection, then you can just banish a Lara, because this thing will likely die by the time you get to this, and then just summon it from graveyard and attempt to start comboing to an extent. So that's it for those monsters. For the spells, since this is a combo deck, I'm trying to maximize the amount of things that enable me to combo off. So 3 upstarts because it's a combo deck. Don't think I need to go too further on this. Emergency Teleport. Your Tamers are all Psychic. Using Teleport shuts them off from being able to do things. Shuts you off from being able to summon them multiple times. That's awful, but it allows you to make a bad hand okay, as if you open with just a beast and a teleport, that's at least one Kanahawk Surge, which allows you to try and set up for the following turn and just explode. So it just helps you do things, and it can at worst summon a 1500 beater that is probably going to be 2000 with an Apelio. 3 copies of MST, because it's just a generally good card for this deck. You want to get rid of their back row as much of it as possible, because some of the time you can't always dodge their stuff, like Fiendish Chains. That's a bit of a problem for your Ritual Beasts. Vanity's Emptiness is a huge problem for this deck, and so is Mistake to some degree. Then for the one-offs, Book of Moon, Dimensional Fissure, Foolish Burial, Gold Sarcophagus, and Ritual Beast Raigeki no, and then Ritual Beast Bonds. So, Foolish Burial is a combo piece alongside Lara and Zephyr Pelica, as it sends a beast to the graveyard for them to summon back. Gold Sarcophagus combos with Wend as it put a beast in Banish so that you can special summon it back. Or in those rare instances where you banish a Zephyr Pelica, special summon it back with Lara, and then go into a rank 3 if need be. It doesn't come up that often, but I'm just listing possibilities. Raigeki is Raigeki. Dimensional Fissure is good in this deck as it banishes your beasts, and you're perfectly fine with that. And finally, Bond is in there as an attempt to kill your opponent, as you can just banish any 2 Ritual Beast and a Tamer, and summon any Ritual Beast from your extra deck, ignoring the conditions. So you can summon your Gaia Apelio, your Ulti Apelio, or you can summon your big guy, Gaia Ulti Apelio, who normally requires you to banish 3 things, but you can just summon it by banishing 2, which is kind of helpful for getting over things like towers. But anyway, onto the traps, which is the main reason to play this deck, honestly, is because you have a really good lineup of traps. 3 Ambush, it summons a beast and a tamer from your graveyard or banish. You just can't summon anything else except Ritual Beasts for the turn, but you don't care about that. You're going to flip this during your opponent's turn on their end phase, and do wonderful things on the following turn. 3 copies of Ritual Beast Ambush. Steeds. God, I get that mixed up. Steeds is the one that blows up monsters on up to the number of Ritual Beasts you control. It doesn't target, which is great for getting around certain card effects. And you can always just decontact fuse your Ritual Beast fusion monster to summon 2 Ritual Beasts, so that instead of it being a 1-for-1, it becomes a 1-for-2. Or if you happen to have Ambush in play, you can also just flip Ambush and make it a 1-for-2. And yeah, these are just your main search targets off of Ulti Kanahawk. Your best fusion monster, 1 copy of Macrocosmos, that's ridiculous in here, Solemn Warning, and Emptiness, because what's better than setting up a board that's going to be difficult for your opponent to break? Setting up a board backed up by Emptiness, because telling your opponent to play you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is how you play Yu-Gi-Oh! And for the extra deck, 3 copies of Ulti Apelio. When he attacks, he's unaffected by any card effects, including your own, so any boosts from your regular Apelio will not work on this guy. He is, though, just a decent beater. 2600 is an okay number. It gets over your average 2500 guys, which is always nice, and all the Ritual Beast fusion monsters have the ability to uncontact fuse on the chain, which is very good for dodging things like 101. 3 Ulti Kanahawk. This is one of your most important guys. As his effect is, you can target 2 Ritual Beast cards in your banish pile and return them to the graveyard to add a Ritual Beast card from deck to hand. And then you can chain him to target one of those cards that you're targeting in a different card, and then summon those to the field, return just 1 card to your graveyard and get a search. So he's stupid good, and he says, Veiler, you what now? No. 2 copies of Ulti Gaia Apelio. You're almost never going to summon him through his actual ways, which is a Ulti Beast, a Beast, and a Tamer. If you do, he gets the ability to negate anything by banishing a Ritual Beast card from hand. More often than not, you're going to be dumping 1. You're going to be banishing 1 for your Rampengu, and then you're going to be summoning the other one via Bond, because you can just use Bond to bring this out, which is great. You just banish a Beast and a Tamer to summon any Ritual Beast monster from the extra deck, ignoring the conditions. Yeah, now you know what I'm getting at here. And then just 1 copy of Petalfin. This guy's 32, so he's a big beater. This thing's a 2800 defender that can't be popped by effects, which is okay if you can't get anything going turn 1 and you just have to go with a no pass. You can just sit on this. 2800 is difficult for a lot of decks to get over without using card effects, and she gets around those. The only thing you really have to worry about is Castel, which you can just defuse out of. And then for the extra other guys, 1 Dweller, 1 Castel, 1 Exciton, 1 Chidori, because you're playing twins. And then one Totem Bird. It's something that comes up every now and then. If you happen to have a Pilika banished and a Wen in hand, you can just summon Wen, special summon Pilika, and then just go into this thing. It's a free spell or trap negate on a 1900 body. Granted, if he has no materials, then he loses 500, but it's whatever. You're basically using this guy to help close out the game if you've already got an Apelio or something in play. And that's pretty much it for the deck itself. As far as like combos go, I don't know all of them yet. I just know of like the big ones, which is when you open with Elder Kanahawk, then you can do some silly things. Like you just go normal summon, extra summon, Kanahawk effect. You banish Apelio from your deck. Let me just get him out here, so exile that. And then you contact fuse into your ulti Kanahawk. You don't use his effect yet. You want to actually just get back Kanahawk, so you'll decontact fuse. Bring these guys back. This guy's effect, he'll banish a Ritual Beast Tamer. And given that you've already used your Elder, well, no, you can't use banish your Elder because you've already special summoned each one of these ones per turn. In this case, I would just banish Zephyr Pilika. On the off chance that if she dies, she goes to extra deck and you can just banish her with Rampengu later. Then you contact fuse again into Ulti Kanahawk, and then at this point, you have Ulti Kanahawk targets this guy and this card, and then you chain his effect so that you can target her and him and special summon these two. This guy goes into the graveyard, and then you get to search either a Steeds or a Ambush. It depends on if you have one or the other in hand. Let's assume you open with Ambush, then you search Steeds. And then Apelio will banish Kanahawk, getting him out of play to pump your buy 500, but more importantly, it gets Kanahawk back into the banish pile, which allows you to contact fuse into this, and then you can get another search off. What you put back into the graveyard, well, you can't summon any of these guys back, but you could either get another search. The one I would do in this case would be, I'd put these guys back in the graveyard. Why not? Put them in. You can just put them into the graveyard and then search out the other combo piece, or just more backup. Like if you have an ambush at this point, you probably would get either another Steeds, or you can get another monster for your normal summon next turn. Since you're gonna have things banished or in graveyard, you can easily just grab either one of these two tamers, so that you have a play if your opponent is able to like break this setup. But hopefully they should not be able to get through this. And like that's that play. The other one that comes to the top of my head, like I'm not gonna go in like all the combos, but like the most notable ones that we all know about at this point would be that and an Elder Rampengu. Just trying to think the best way to do this one. Like this deck, it does take a bit more skill than some of the other decks in the format, but you're basically going to be doing like most of the same thing, which is just abuse the hell out of this guy. So Elder Rampengu you would banish probably banish in this instance. Pretty sure you would banish Ulti Kanahawk in order to dump a Kanahawk into the graveyard. Yeah, put that in there. And then you would contact fuse into another Ulti Kanahawk. And then at this point, you would activate Kanahawk's effect, targeting this and just one of these, and then you decontact fuse to special summon these two back. This goes in the graveyard, you get a search, and then Rampengu's effect would allow you to exile another card. I would, in this case, exile Apelio, and then dump Apelio to the graveyard. In doing so, oops, that's a Lara. That's not an Apelio. What the hell am I smoking? Don't mind me, people. I'm still, like, I'm still pretty tired. We got that. And then you just contact fuse into your Kanahawk again. And at this point, Kanahawk can basically, ooh, no, I did that wrong. No, the card I wanted to exile here is not Alti Apelio. No, the card I want to banish is Gaia Apelio, because I want to have 2 Tamers and 2 Beasts in play in some manner. That's what I wanted. So at this point, we would probably just dump this thing, because she's a Psychic. Yeah, that's the way to go about it. Because that way, you're gonna get another search off, and more. You're gonna end once again with Steeds and Ambush. There we go. You're gonna end with Steeds and Ambush, and this way you'll have like. Let's just get the. Because you're gonna use Conhawk's effect to search again, but you're not gonna decontact views. So we'll put that in there, and we will put that in there, and get a search. And with this, and then you can just use Ambush to. No, I'm pretty certain I did that wrong. But basically, what I'm thinking here though is that you can use Ambush to bring back a Beast and a Tamer. Probably these 2 from Graveyard. That way, if they do something, you have a Steeds to blow up 3. And then on the following turn, you can have Conahawk banish something, and then Ulti Conahawk and just do his shenanigans. Alright, yeah. And just, there's that. There's another way you can take that play where you can get more pluses, but that was just me, like, thinking off the top of my head. Because again, I still don't know all the combos. And then as I was talking about dealing with towers, it's dealing with towers is a bit difficult, but it will require you to have Elder Conahawk. So we'll just get those guys out. We'll just grab these cards. So Elder, Conahawk, Elder effect, Conahawk effect, banish a Apelio, go on the Conahawk, Conahawk effect, just target. No, decontact, summon, Conahawk effect again, banish a Tamer, contact fuse on the Conahawk effect to get a search off. You're going to be searching a bonds. That's the important thing here. So target, change, call, effect, grab a bonds. It's fine, anything in here. Where is it? There it is. Grab bonds. Apelio effect will banish to pump your guys by 500. And then you just Ritual Beast bonds into Ulti Guy Apelio. Because of Apelio's effect, he is plus 500. This gets around the attack reduction of towers, so this allows you to attack over the thing. Now, granted, this does nothing to help you deal with the fact that they're gonna have they have a full pendulum scale, so they'll just pendulum summon and probably kill you, which is a big problem. But as far as like getting over towers or just a big monster in general that you normally can't get over, you're going to be just summoning Gaia Apelio via Bond. And that's pretty much it for the video itself. Feel free to correct me if I made any major misplays in doing all these. Like, again, I've only been playing this deck for just a short while, like those couple of Dev Pro vids plus this, and then that was before Gaia Apelio came out, so I haven't had much experience using this guy. I've only brought him out just seldomly, and I lost a game because I got greedy and tried to go for a push, and my opponent had his Sinister Shadow games, and I was like, oh shit. But it's a fun deck. It takes a lot of practice to get used to, and I'm sure I'll get the hang of it in a bit, but this is just my initial build. If you have any suggestions on what I should do, go right ahead. I really do feel like that I could just drop Dimensional Fissure, maybe Book of Moon as well, and fit in like a pair of Phoenix Chains or Prisons. Just cards like those should be really helpful for me. Dimensional Fissure itself is gonna, yeah, I mean, granted, I have a lot of Shadows in my area, so I tried to tech this. I know for a fact if I tech my deck to beat that matchup, I'll do well, because if you just run anti-Shadow cards like I'm going to do on my extra, then on my side, then I should be able to do well with this deck. So I've got some cards in here for the Shadow matchup. This thing to kill either Mathematician or Construct. I mean, Construct will float if I use this thing on it, but it's Construct out of the way, which I'm totally fine with. But That's all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, this is BlueStar89 jacking out, and once again, I'm sorry for taking too long.